All right. Welcome. Let's go. We're hitting up another day in Miami with our Day in Miami fans and our Day in Miami family. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this episode is brought to you by Care Compass.
What?
Which also happens to be one of our good friends, Alex. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you,
Thank
man.
you for coming on.
What's up, my brother? What's up?
You know, I
gotta do
appreciate
the whole
it.
hand. He already started it, so I'll
I know,
it
yeah.
too.
I appreciate
But
it. Alex, for those people who don't know who you are, explain to them.
Well, he already said I'm Alex Rodriguez. I have this company called Care Compass. We are an independent insurance agency. We service every single type of health insurance need. So whether you're an individual, you go through the marketplace, you have an ACA policy. If you're a business owner and you do your group or business insurance and offer insurance to your employees, and where I really where I would say my expertise comes from is in the Medicare world. So Medicare is obviously a very hot subject here in South Florida, but yeah, we do all types of health insurance.
I'm going to go straight to the point. Everyone hates paying for insurance.
Yes.
Everyone hates insurance. Why is this important for you to have health insurance in this day and age?
Because it could be catastrophic. If you have an accident and you end up in the hospital and that bill comes back for $20, $30, $40, $50,000, and you don't have a way of paying,
You're on the hook for it, baby.
You are very much on the hook. And I'm not going to mention the hospitals, but
Yeah, you gotta get health insurance.
they want their money. So yeah.
Wait. So you're saying there's hospitals that are more aggressive than others?
I will say that there's hospitals that will make sure that they're getting paid. That's
called
where-
collection agencies.
That's called
Well,
exactly.
Can they really go after you like that? Like
Yeah, they can. I mean, they,
to your house and stuff? Or how? What's to what
they
extent?
they could get pretty aggressive, and I've seen with certain clients that maybe they had an issue, they didn't submit their policy card at the time of their accident, and they're getting calls every single day, and they won't stop. They'll hit you up until they can.
I had always heard that. Sorry, I had always heard that Jackson was like the hospital you go to, and like,
No,
you don't-
wait.
Yeah, something that-
You're that's
Wait off.
another
I'm
program.
just
Yeah,
curious.
that's another program because let me explain something to you. Jackson, yes, but it's not the fact that everybody can just go to Jackson. You got to go to Jackson. You have to prove the fact that you don't have income. You have to submit. You have to submit payroll. You have to submit
Documents.
You have to show that you don't have insurance.
You have to show that you have insurance.
You can't
So
just
that's
show.
not like a backup plan. Like
It's not. I mean, that doesn't work that way. I
Gotcha.
mean,
In a hypothetical situation,
I'm glad you really said that because at the end of the day, Jackson is a community hospital.
correct. It's community
But
hospital.
it's a
with that.
community hospital, which is funded by the state, by the local government, stuff like that. But if you are a person that do not have insurance, you can go to a Jackson or something of that end, and you have to prove, with income tax, copies of your paychecks or stubs, right, that you really can't afford it. Now, they'll go ahead and treat you. I tell you because way back in the day, I did an internship at Jackson Memorial. So at the end of the day, I understand. I already said it many times.
you have?
Yeah, you just don't pay attention.
no, I haven't.
So at the end of the day, that I know the system very well. And if you follow our podcast, which you should, we had a great interview with Carlos Migoya, the chairman.
And we have
Oh,
one
the
coming
Jackson Fund.
with HCA,
Yeah, they're coming later today, right?
the hospital.
Now,
today.
on that point of the insurance, and you said something about Medicare, and I'm going to get into all these subjects, but I think that Medicare is an important factor. I'm going to tell you why. Because some of our audience may say, well, but you get to Medicare when you hit 65.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
So that's the point where everybody says, okay, what do you do with your Medicare now? Do you keep it free? Do you enroll it with an HMO, with a provider, with a healthcare, whichever? I always say that when you become 65, the new generation of the 65ers are more, in tune of what's going on with life.
Yes.
Now, in my case, my parents are older people, and my sister and I are always very on top of the fact of my parents' health and benefits and stuff like that. The younger generation becomes the caretakers of a lot of those people.
Correct.
So I always say that these caretakers, we become our parents eventually. So we need to be in tune, and we need to be informed of all this stuff. I think there's a lot of I don't want to say like biased, but I want to say there's a lot of different things because when you hit 65, you get bombarded everywhere from this healthcare provider, from this guy, from that guy, everybody telling you, join me, join me, join me. What are the benefits of me going to Care Compass and saying, Alex, I need you to give me a fair assessment of this 65-year-old and the benefits that I'm looking for my parents?
Just took my question. I do wrote that one down.
So the biggest thing is that somebody like ourselves and us specifically, we don't have a bias, like you said. We are going to analyze the individual. So let's say in a case like yourself, Manny Alfonso, you have certain doctors, you have certain medications, and we're going to take a look at that before we even say, hey, let's take a look at this insurance. Whereas if you call a carrier specifically, they're going to try to make their product fit to you rather than what your needs fits that product. Oftentimes, if you call it a carrier directly, they're going to try to make their product fit to you. Maybe the product is not correct for you. The beautiful thing that we have here in South Florida and in Florida in general, but in South Florida specifically, is that there are dozens of carriers for each product, whether it's an individual, whether it's Medicare. So there is a product specifically for you, and for me, right? So it's not a one size fits all. Most doctors who take these type of plans, they don't take just one. Some do, but for the most part nowadays, most of these doctors who take and what you're talking about is typically a Medicare Advantage product. Those type of products, a doctor might take 3 or 4 different plans.
Yeah.
Most of the time, within those 3 or 4 plans, there's going to be something that makes most sense for you. Sometimes there isn't, and then you might need to look other routes. But for the most part, the product should fit for you, not you for the product, right? So whether it's a network that you're looking for, a specific medication that you need, a hospital because you live by it, you want it to be in that network of the carrier. It should fit for you. So there's definitely different options. And somebody like myself, a big misnomer at least in healthcare and ACA and Medicare, all these products pay the same. So people think that, maybe I might push a certain product because it pays me more.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right. That's a good.
I was about to just ask you that too.
It doesn't. It doesn't. That's a big misnomer. I don't have a bias to say, hey, pick this carrier or pick this
people
this
also
product.
think you have like large margins and stuff too. It's not like it's a volume game at the end of the day from a business model perspective.
From a business model perspective, it is a volume game. So just a little background on me. I worked on the carrier side for many years for one of the largest insurance companies. I'm not going to say their name, but it wasn't the one that had a CEO died recently.
Right.
It was not that company.
Which was another topic I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, but I was trained very well and learned a lot from them. But I lost my train of thought. What was the question you had asked?
No, you were talking about that you have what.
The margins. Excuse me.
Margins, yeah.
So you kind of realize when you're selling with just one product
And the volume.
it's hard to hit that volume, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we exist today, right? That's why Care Compass came about.
Which the way you have volume is giving good customer service because you need your people to stay with you.
You're the face of this, right? Like any business, but this business specifically, I will sometimes try to delegate something to somebody else, and it's very difficult because they want to deal with me,
right.
or they want to deal with their agent.
But it makes sense. I mean, listen, off air, we were talking about a friend of ours that we have that they're going through this whole huge situation in their company in the sense that they can't get a hold of their agents, because that's being brokered through somebody else.
That is a big problem.
And the sense that all those people that work in that company are trying to get, benefit, information, and then that person is not there anymore because now they changed.
Yeah.
So
which happens every day in life here.
So you'll see often, and going back to the calling direct to carrier, it's not that you're getting a better deal or anything. It's all the same. As far as rates, as far as the benefits you're getting. If you're calling direct to carrier, you're going to deal with the person who answered, the person que te toca, that answered the phone.
Correct.
And that person, you might talk to them that day. When you call back for anything with customer service, you lost your card, you forgot what your dental benefit is, what's my deductible, I can't find this, what's my login, whatever the case is, you're very unlikely to reach that person again. You're going to talk to the next department, where when you deal with somebody like ourselves,
that's where I was going. In the sense of you being the independent person, because I really want people to focus on this. This is the thing. That's what a lot of people do not want to, confront.
Correct.
So they know that with somebody like with Care Compass, they can say, "Wait a second, let me call Alex or any of your people in the office, right?" And say, "Oye, tengo este problema. Oye, I have this problem." You know what I'm saying? And that's what you guys can also resolve.
So whether it's coming from some of our clients that get referred to us by other clients through our book of business or the doctors that we work with just to manage their patients. Because, again, believe it or not, they have a lot of little details that the clinics themselves don't want to deal with. They're more worried about writing the referrals or making sure that the next appointment is on time. If somebody has an issue directly with the insurance company, they want somebody like myself to mediate that. Exactly. So that's what some of our services come in when we work directly with a doctor.
So take the case of our business.
Right.
Okay. We have 30-something.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
Okay. If we were to work with someone like you, okay, or any business out there that works with someone like you, right? If any of the employees have any questions, they would contact you directly?
They will have my direct cell phone. My wife absolutely hates that I give my cell phone directly, but
that's what I was going to say, because that must get overwhelming.
All my clients, the ones that and obviously we're friends, but all my clients have my number directly. And my wife sometimes says, well, why are you answering a work call on Saturday? Well, Fulana has to go see a doctor, and she wants to make sure that that the urgent care or the emergency is in network, and I gotta take the call sometimes.
That's how you
know. It is what we signed up for.
This is what we signed up for, But I think it's very important. Now, yes, there's many times that I might take a call and an issue, like ordering a card or whatever. I might delegate it to somebody else. But yes, my clients have my number. They could reach me. They could absolutely reach me. They have my cell phone number.
Easier and we're talking about this too. So because some people usually go in and they look behind the card and they call, X 1-800 number to ask these questions. But to your point, they don't get sometimes the answer that they're looking, even with that customer service of that company. So you guys go above and beyond a little bit more.
We'll take care of it.
In the sense that you guys may have referred this company, or not referred, but suggested based on their needs, hey, go with this company. And then this company is now responding. You'll go ahead and take the initiative and says, give it to me. I'll deal with them for you.
Unfortunately, and I know the customer service at these companies are working hard, but sometimes you might have somebody who answers the phone who's been with the company for 2 months. They haven't dealt with certain situations.
Some of them are not even from the United States. I'm not saying. Sometimes you talk to somebody that's from somewhere else, and it takes you like an hour and a half just to get through it.
So like a typical process, you call in a card service, a member services line. Oh, dial 1 for this, dial 2 for that. 5 minutes go by. Oh, wait for this. You're in the wrong department. This, that, and the other.
Eso me desespera.
It'll drive you crazy. And then on top of that, now let's say somebody like you and I that we could do those things. Now put that on somebody who's a senior.
That's what I'm saying.
Who
100%.
They struggle more with certain these things. Mira, Manny. In other words, nosotros tenemos los clientes malcriados.
Oh, yeah.
I hold their hands through the whole situation, whether they need to find a new carrier, whether they need to find a new option for this, that, and the other. I try to take care of as much as I can by myself.
But that's why you're here, brother, because we wanted to, showcase that, because we have a lot of people in the healthcare and a lot of friends. Yeah. And I always say it's important to people to understand that sometimes, you can say, where do I go? Well, you tell them to go A is going to push for them. If you tell them to go to B is going to push for them. I think it's important for all these viewers out there. If you're getting to that age, or even if you're a caretaker, and not only that, because Alex does we're going to get into that now, every type of insurance, even for me, for whatever age. But
for the ultra wealthy,
right? You have the opportunity.
There's products for them too.
For him to go ahead and guide you. You can have a parent that's diabetic. You can have a parent that has heart issues that just became 65. What is it about? I mean, and again, I try and ask questions that I think the regular folk out there always thinks, that don't understand. What is ACA? And what are that? I keep on hearing, I'll see the news and they say, oh, new changes are coming to ACA with Medicare and stuff like that. People are not into this. Just change the channel and don't understand. I think everybody should be a little bit, informed about a little bit about everything. What's ACA, and what are we getting some changes in Medicare?
So ACA, short for Affordable Care Act,
okay.
ACA, it's all the same thing. More commonly, people refer to it as Obamacare because that's what.
Oh, I didn't know. So ACA is Obamacare.
It's essentially Obamacare. It also offers a bunch of other different things and different programs. But when people say, see the carteles of Obamacare, they're talking about an ACA plan. So up until now, we've had subsidies for certain incomes. incomes of certain households, those subsidies help towards your premiums. With the new legislation that we just saw passed recently,
Which
the big beautiful bill,
okay.
Those subsidies are supposed to be going away. Now, the Speaker of the House, right, Michael Johnson,
Yes,
he said recently that as of right now, that's going away, but there's still time that something could be done. But again, as of right now, that's going away.
But what does that mean exactly?
How is it going to affect the market? So it's all speculative right now. I've read a lot, and nobody has a clear-cut answer because we won't see those numbers until November 1st when the individual and ACA renewals start for 2026. So a lot of people are guessing that it's going to spike anywhere from 20 and some carriers even up to a 40% in premiums to what they're paying right now.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt.
What is a
because,
premium?
Yeah, because but wait, before we go to the premium, let's parentheses, because a lot of people, I want to go through that. Everywhere you go here, you see signs of Obamacare.
Yes.
Obamacare. What is that? What is that? Is that for everybody, or is that just for 65 and plus?
No. Medicare is what it's typically for 65 and plus.
Correct.
And you have to qualify for Medicare. You have to have worked a certain amount of time here in the United States. And there's qualifications to get Medicare. You don't just get Medicare for being 65.
I get you.
Yeah.
So then all those signs that always
That's
see Obamacare.
basically for everybody else.
Okay. So then that is, and let's walk people through this. That is has to be 65 plus.
Not Obamacare. Obamacare is for...
It's the Affordable Care Act.
It's for anybody. Is it for anybody?
It's basically for anybody. Anybody could get on.
So a 27-year-old can go and get Obamacare.
27-year-old could get Obamacare as long as he's here. He has a Social Security. He's a
Correct.
resident.
What is it? Good coverage or?
It's great coverage. It's I don't know why.
Do they have to prove a certain amount that they make also, or no?
So it's a very basic application. When we fill out that application, we're asking them, hey, what do you expect to earn, this year or the next year, whatever it is, and that's what we fill out. Now, based on that expected income for that household is where your rate comes, your sex, and your age.
Right.
Those are the other factors that they consider into that. Obviously, a woman in her late 20s, early 30s might have a little bit higher rate than,
Right.
a woman in her 50s or late 40s, just because, they're more likely to get pregnant, etc. But yes, anybody could get insurance. Anybody could get insurance through Obamacare, especially if your employer doesn't offer insurance. That is the alternative. Okay. That is the route of getting insurance. And excuse me, and because it offers subsidies, it makes it more affordable for them to get these plans. For example, a household that has about a $40,000 net income.
Yeah.
And it's a husband, a wife, and 2 kids. They're probably going to have a 0 premium plan. Again, we'd have to put it into information and everything has to go in there, but they're probably gonna have a 0 premium plan because their plan is actually costing them maybe near $1,000 a month for all 4, but the subsidy because of their income covers that. That's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see it might be going away soon.
Why would people even consider going to another carrier or insurance thing if they can go to Obamacare? You think it's cheaper?
Obamacare is just the vehicle to get you that subsidy. Now, through Obamacare, you're going to the marketplace, you're going to healthcare.gov, and you're getting United, you're getting AvMed, you're getting all these different carriers. Obamacare is essentially a broker. Now,
a broker with credits.
They're not a broker. It's a marketplace. It's a marketplace. It's a place that you
with
could
credits.
It's like you're going to Amazon and you have
tomato. We can call it whatever.
You go to Amazon and you have all these different products. They're not telling you which one to buy. They're just telling you, hey,
they have all these people to offer.
Correct.
And then they profile you and they say, listen, if you go here, we're going to give you X back.
Now, most people will go on and say, okay, I'm going to put this in. This is the cheapest one for my family. I more or less recognize his name. And boom. And then you don't know what the plan actually covers or doesn't cover up until you actually need it.
Correct.
Excuse me for my language. When shit happens.
Right.
Because nobody knows how the insurance works
100%.
until shit happens.
100%.
So everybody usually goes for the cheapest stuff. And when something happens, then you'd
be shocked.
No, I'm sure the deductibles are probably through the roof.
They could be, $9,000, $17,000 for the family. They're all over the place. Yeah. Now, there's different scales of it, but people mostly go for the cheapest option. Now, some people might just go for the company they recognize, and maybe there's another local brand that they don't recognize. They're like, maybe we're not going to select that plan. And I think people are wrong. That's why I feel like they need to talk to somebody.
That's where I'm going at. And then you can say, I just want to wrap this up, but I'm just saying. That's my big. So that's the part that's going to be now taken out?
We don't know for sure.
Not yet.
As they're saying that they're going away with the subsidies, but we don't know for sure what's actually going to happen. As of today, the subsidies are off the table.
So listen, it gives me more reason to say that you go with people like you, because the sense is now you start with one of these things, and what about all of a sudden now they took them out, and you have nobody to reach. You have nobody to talk to.
Yeah, it's just it's a product that is so specific to you in life.
It's a boring subject, and people don't want to like look into it.
No, bro, it's not.
That it's important.
No, but it's important. It's important when you need it.
100%, bro. That's like
most
like life insurance.
But most people are in their 30s and they're like, oh, I'm healthy. I just need something in case something happens, and they don't really look into what they're getting.
I'll stop you right there. 30-something. And I got diagnosed with cancer.
It happens.
So at the end of the day, nobody can tell me in the sense that, 30. That's the biggest misconception everywhere. Everybody knows I'm the doctor on call here in the office. But at the end of the day, I tell everybody, prevention saves lives.
1,000%.
Prevention saves lives. So that is important, where you're just saying that everybody needs to be educated on that, brother.
But listen, to that point, for those young people out there, the 20s, the 30s, even the 40s, etc., right? I myself included. I was like that for a while, right? That don't have insurance, right? They don't care. They're out there. They feel healthy. They're going to the gym. They're in the sauna. They're eating good. Whatever the case is, it's important for them to have insurance. What do you suggest that they do? Apart from calling you, like how important is it for them? And what's the best way for them to actually see maybe their options and know how important it is to do it?
The biggest thing I could say is just more for the catastrophic. For a younger person, they don't think of like, hey, getting sick, like you said. So for them to have insurance, and usually for a young, especially a young male, it's very inexpensive.
Like, what are we looking at? Like, if I just want to have something just in case something happens.
Rates, I couldn't tell you, but just consider that if your income is somewhere below, $50,000 to $60,000, and you're a male, you're gonna pay very little, little.
More or less, what are you thinking?
I can't really talk
$100
because no, much less than that.
Oh wow!
Because
like a range. Like, you can get a catastrophic insurance for less than $100 a month.
You could probably find a zero premium plan.
Oh wow!
But now with the things
especially
changing,
because at your age, you're in a healthy stage right now.
And again, it's going to be interesting come November because there's going to be a lot of movement. We don't know how the change in subsidies is going to affect the rates to each individual person.
Yeah. And by the way, for all those kids, you said that right now, the 20 and 30-year-olds that people say, oh, I'm great. Well, you guys all love the gyms, doing the muscle, drinking this, taking, I don't know, any NAD, all this bunch of stuff. You need blood work.
Oh,
you should go get blood work drawn. That's one of the biggest and most important things that one should do.
I will say this there's a very new... Not very new, but this is coming, right? So if insurance rates, especially for younger individuals, get so expensive, what you're going to see is that they might get something with a very low premium, but has a very high deductible or a high max out of pocket in case something, catastrophic happens. Yeah. What we're going to start seeing, and there's a lot of different clinics and a lot of different doctors developing these type of plans now, which is, they've been known as discount plans, but it's a plan that you pay a doctor a subscription every month, couple $100, whatever it is, and they'll include some lab work for you. They'll include their certain consultations.
It's great.
You're not paying additional money to see them every single time. You're not paying that individual consultation. So, in essence, it's like a concierge. That's another word for it. Concierge is much more expensive, but it's essentially like a concierge thing, which I think is going to get popular very soon. Especially if the rates get to, how they're kind of thinking they're going to get to is going to become unaffordable.
But there's concierges accept insurance, obviously, right?
They do. They do. But for the most part...
Tell people concierge out there, and people go, hey, brother,
No. They
Ritz-Carlton here.
I think that concierge service would be awesome.
Right. No, listen, that's excellent, but his point...
the word concierge usually dictates a much more higher level, higher premium. They're paying thousands of dollars a year.
Right.
I'm talking about smaller centers that are offering, hey, you pay... couple $100, we'll cover a lab works for you maybe every couple of months, consultations. They include a lot of little things.
That's great.
I've talked to a bunch of doctors, and a lot of them are getting into these type of plans.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I didn't see it.
And even some, for an urgent situation, you need a quick stitch, they might be able to do it right there in their office instead of you having to go into an urgent 100%. Care and pay a couple $1,000s.
100%.
But what are the biggest issues or problems that you hear on your phone calls with potential clients or people who are like, what are their biggest concerns?
I will say with our clients, we don't really deal with anything crazy. The worst thing that happens with one of my clients is that maybe they need to see a new doctor they haven't seen in the past, and that new doctor that they want to go see because of a certain network may not be in network. That's really the biggest headache that I deal with a couple times a month. Another one that I deal with my clients is, this is my senior community, se la pierden la tarjeta. Their food card.
Yeah, man.
And they depend on that food card. The food card is a thing that's gotten very popular in the Medicare world.
How does that work? What does that mean?
So this is not food stamps. So now most of these Medicare Advantage plans will give, whether you're on Medicaid and Medicare, or you're Medicare only, most of these plans already have some kind of food and expense benefit. The agent needs to submit certain type of forms to make sure that they qualify. But basically, they're giving them a card, and it could have $30 a month for groceries or pay utilities.
Yeah, sure.
And there's plans that cover, well into the 300s.
By the way, there's a lot of those seniors that are just looking to see which one gives the best money.
It's
crazy.
It's crazy, but they need oftentimes they need that help. Things have gotten more expensive.
Well, they see the way as like, I'm okay so far. I've been going to the hospital maybe once a year, but I need the groceries my groceries every month.
Manny, I have clients who come to me and tell me, "Hey, did you hear that such and such plan is going to have this?" And I go, I haven't even had the meetings for 2026 with them, and I have clients
talking.
What's a good word that we can say that has become like a?
It's a huge motivator for. It's a huge motivator.
I know what you're thinking, but you don't want to say it.
Right. It's become a beep in the world of healthcare with this card. Yeah. It's like everybody's like, and then I laugh because
it's like the underworld
you hear in certain circles, right? That in where I'm at in places and with the older generation and family friends of my parents. Oh, but they'll come to my parents' house and like a neighbor, and she goes, "Oh, you know what? I just joined this place over here. You know what they're giving me? I eat there every day for lunch. I do this, I play this, I have this, and I got this." And then she tries to recruit my mom, and she says, "Hey, come."
Because they're probably giving them a fee for recruiting too.
We'll pick you up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden my mom goes, "I'm fine. I don't want that. I have..." No, but it doesn't matter. Listen, you can still go to this hospital, but it's incredible how that world...
They mobilize.
That's the clinic side, and they've done a very bad job
of crazy
of getting people used to that here, right? So now, and I walk away from clients all the time. They'll come to me and they're like, "Oh, if I go to this clinic and I sign with with the insurance,
right?
¿Qué me van a dar? What are you guys gonna?"
So wait. So you're telling me
this happens?
Wait. You're telling me that there's a kickback community in the Medicare field? With the viejitos?
Within the clinics?
Right, but not kickback in the what you're saying. Kickback in the sense of, is this one to get arroz con pollo, or is this one to get...
Incentivizing.
Exchange, like bartering services.
Right, like incentives, like, what's better in this place than better in the other place.
There are centers that will give their members, just for being part of that, we're not talking about insurance now, we're talking about the clinics.
Right.
There are clinics that
that want the lives.
That want the lives, correct.
Yeah.
They want the members. So they'll tell them, "Hey, besides what your insurance," let's say hypothetically, there's an insurance that gives
X amount,
$200 on the food card because they qualify for it, right? And then on top of that, the clinic, just for being a member there, they'll give them an extra $100 on a gift card. Plus, they'll give them una bolsita filled with detergent, paper towels, and this. And then on top of that, they're giving food and all that stuff. Look,
I'm gonna say the word. It's a prostitution.
I was gonna say you're STLing the shit out of this.
I know, but it's a prostitution.
And there was a time there, man, like 3 years ago, that it was like, people were coming and asking me, I'm like, "Man, this is not my business." Like,
but is that wait? Just to be clear, is that legal?
I'm sure they.
Or is it a gray area?
I think it's a gray area. Again, it's not my world. But is it out there? Yes, it's out there.
But we're chatting about that because it's funny because that leads to that because it's a lot of people that, for example, and then to have that understanding, you have you're an insurance carrier,
correct?
Okay, and I tell you, I always use my parents as the example because they're at that age, they have their insurance with X place, but then again, my mom's very friends with all her neighbors, and all her neighbors are all past that age. So the one across the street tells her she's no, I'm not with XYZ, health plan. I'm with XYZ clinic. And then my mom goes, no, but I'm okay. I like my health plan. I like to go to, if I have to go to a hospital, or I want to go here. Oh, no, but you go to this clinic here, but they'll do everything for you, and then you have no issues. But listen, you eat lunch every day.
Yeah.
They take you on field trips. They do this, they do that. So it's like all these incentives, to Alex's point, that they do because they want you to come with them. Now, I don't know what the pros and cons with that is, but I'm just saying it's a crazy world. And if you do not know exactly what to do with that, or if you're a caretaker of your parents, this is why you got to get somebody like Care Compass to guide you with that, brother.
From the clinic side, who would you say are like the biggest players or the biggest offenders right now of that right now? Who are giving like the best packages for people to come that you see?
Look, I can mention those names, and Eddie, I'll also.
He wants inside information.
Look, no, because I think like that's awesome. I think, look, maybe from a business perspective, it's not good, but for the community that's at the end of it, it's really good for them because they're creating competitive advantages, giving more to their community.
It's not hard to find them. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I will say not
every shopping mall.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Shopping center.
Throw a rock, you'll run into one. I will say this. The clinics that are doing that, not all of them, but for the most part, I'd say 80% that are just trying to bring people in on all these little things.
Yeah.
For the way they brought them in, and the second they stop giving one of those little things, they're out too. So
that's good.
It's a double-edged sword
with
that, right?
No, it's literally what Manny said. They're prostituting themselves.
I will say
it's like crazy. It's
thankfully from in my career in this, and even working on the captive side with the carrier, the clinics that I've worked with in the past, that I do the customer service and I handle their patients as far as what insurances they need. They're not really heavy into that. And I will say the bigger successful, the long-term successful ones don't get heavy into that because it's something that they'll leave you for giving them that benefit. The second they take it away, the patient will leave. The guys who do well, and we have a friend in common.
Yes.
Again, I don't want to mention names, but we
have several people.
We have several people in common, but there's one specifically in common that they do no marketing. They don't give anything away.
Yeah.
It's quality of service. It's having good doctors. It's making a very easy quality of care for them that makes their patients stay and makes their patients refer to other people.
Correct.
There's
got me like on edge here. I want to know who this person is now.
Well, but listen, at the end of the day, it's all about service too.
It's
the way
a service.
That I see it,
Those are the guys who long term are the guys who you see they have good, healthy, successful clinics. They have a good member base.
Yeah.
There's a company that you'll figure out who it is, but there's a company that grew very, very fast, and now they're not as big as they are, and certain people got in trouble. You'll piece it together.
Listen, is Medicare fraud still like an issue in the city? Because I know that was a big issue like 10, 15 years ago. Do you still think that's an issue right now or not really?
I think it's not city. I think it's all over the United States.
I mean, we have.
I thought they put like a lot more red tape over that now.
But you're talking about. I mean, every time you take a look at the news, you see something that they did this or they busted somewhere here in Texas or Miami or somewhere else.
You're always gonna have the guys who are billing and all that stuff. You're always gonna have them.
But there was a time in the city that like all of my friends' parents were in that, and they all went to jail and this and that.
Well, look.
Damn, what circles were you in?
Bro, in West Kendall when that was growing fast out there.
Right. Damn.
Well, there's no surprise. I mean, look again. There's no surprise that it is a profitable business for the clinic owners.
Defrauding the government could be very profitable.
I'm not saying that they're doing that, but
no. I'm saying
there is
like,
a lot of.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
You
a lot
still
of clinics
see a lot of
out
that.
here, man.
Yeah,
there's a ton of clinics out here. You drive down any area and you throw a rock and you run into three clinics.
But they say that because there's a big viejito community too.
But it's also profitable.
Gotcha.
It's also profitable.
But again, I come back to this.
A day Miami clinic.
Listen, again, this is why I come back to this. That's why it's important to have people like you that people can go and chat, because you're not going to recommend them to a place that that's, listen, I don't know who those people are.
That's a good point.
They can have a doctor there that I don't know who it is, because people are just coming off for 20 little things and and again, I'm not knocking any of these places because some of them could be good. You can have two of them in a mall, and they're wonderful, but you got to do the due diligence. And then some of these people, the parents or the caretakers, don't have that time to do the due diligence on this place.
So you know what happens also is that they'll get guided by a friend or something. And I've had in the past that I've had clinics that have approached me and say, hey, we have a few patients that need help switching to an insurance. And once I get to talking to them, And kind of back to the fraud thing that you're talking about. Once I get to talking to them and they start explaining to me, hey, you know, we want these people on this plan. And I go, well, I can't just put them on the plan you guys want. It needs to make sense.
Right.
And then I start, you know, asking the right questions before I actually get into, you know, start dealing with their members. And I tell them, hey, look, you know, it's not worth dealing with you guys, because you guys might help me grow my book of business because you guys are using me, referring me to certain patients.
Correct.
But at the same time, whenever, let's call it what it is, that tumba you guys have going on the backside, which I don't even know what it is, nor do I want to know. But once that changes, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to lose those members. So
Correct.
It's not worth getting into these guys who might be playing it, you know, playing in the gray area. It's not worth it. You work with the correct doctors. You get people on the plan that best suits them, and you don't have to worry about anything else after that.
You know what? I think that it'd be interesting, you know, and we got to think about this, because maybe we can do a little survey in the sense of, could we, as a day in Miami, maybe list, you know, places that we think that, you know, are credible places? You know what I'm saying? Or that would be just like, you know,
Like Alex's recommendations?
No, I can't. See, look,
you can't do that.
So
can't do that.
you see me bouncing around a little bit on the questions like
Right.
that because, look, me as an agent, I have certain, you know, ethics
Right.
that I need to abide by. So
Gotcha.
I can't.
Okay, so what could we do? Could we do as a day in Miami and ask our viewership to go ahead and suggest if they have?
I'm sure you can put up a poll like that.
They have, or they have parents. What has been
The best
good,
experience, yeah.
What has been their best experience with X amount of either a health plan?
And one of
I think that'd be great.
And one of the things that we're going to do down the road that me and Moya have talked about doing a series of is me even bringing in as a guest, you know, some of the places that I work hand in hand with. To, you know, not just promote them, but to for them to explain
For them to
why
offer what they have.
Correct.
No, and again, not just to promote it, but them to actually explain why it is that what some of these companies, not companies, but the clinics that, you know, offer all this crazy stuff, why that's not worth it.
Listen, I
sometimes.
love the idea, because at the end of the day,
That's a good point.
we're here, as we've always said in this show, we're here to give information, and we're here to shed light on all these situations. Because I've always said what's boring to other people is interesting to some other people. So this conversation can be boring to somebody else, but I love it because my parents are over 65 years old, and my parents are more than over 65 years old, and they count on me and my sister to, you know, help them out, make decisions. So at the end of the day, you know, I know a lot of these places, but I may not know everything that's going on like you.
Yeah, for
on
sure.
top of this, because that's your job. Your job is to inform us of what's going on. And if something's happening, I know I've always called you and I go, you know, Alex, what do you think of my parents? Brother, for your mom is this, for your dad, you should be here. And that's really, you know, guided me and my family of where they are today.
Yeah.
So I think it's important even to maybe even do that in the sense of, you know, you bringing the people. Now, don't bring somebody that all of a sudden in 2 months is going to get arrested.
No,
I hope not.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because that will end
You
up
know,
on the page
you know,
more than
all
once.
of a sudden, I wake up in the morning. Oh, these people! Who the hell's that?
I think Eddie might like that because
that's it.
the page will go viral.
But at least for us to really shed that light, I think that we can help out our community with the fact of saying, okay, give me my mother likes the clinic style.
Yeah.
There's some credible clinics.
And there's big clinics and there's small clinics.
So I'm saying.
There's different. There's something for everybody.
Alex, with the Medicare, some people become 65, right? Does that automatically you have to give that into your, become an HMO, or is it a PPO, or like a lot of people don't understand that still.
So for Medicare specifically, you really are applying for is original Medicare. That little card with the blue and red stripe.
Yes.
Which there are costs associated with that plan. It's not all free. You have 20% copays, 20% coinsurance. Better said, there is a deductible attached to it, so it is a costly thing without limits, right? So you go to the hospital, that 20% goes on and on and on. Now,
But that's if you have your Medicare by itself.
on what we call original Medicare.
Original Medicare.
So then there's different Medicare products, right? You could go on Medicare Advantage, which is the most common thing we see down here, specifically the HMO side because they're very benefit rich. You could do a PPO where you don't have a network, or you do have a network, but you could go in and out of that network. You're not tied to this one network in this one area. PPO, if you have X carrier and they're a national carrier, and you're traveling to New York for a couple months, and God forbid you need to go see a specialist up there, you could find an
So
in-network
that's the
specialist
difference
up there.
between the HMO and PPO. That the PPO allows you to find other spaces.
You could go in and out of your network, and it's usually nationwide.
Got you.
On the HMO side, it's typically local.
Correct.
You know, the carriers for
Got
the most
you.
part will do Miami and Broward. Some do Miami, Broward, on Palm Beach, but it's typically local. The HMO network is typically local. Now, cost-wise, PPOs are going to be a little more expensive.
More benefits.
HMOs are little to no co-payments for the most part. They have a ton of benefits.
Correct.
The other products that you see often, not so much down here, but in other places, is Medicare supplements. Medicare supplements means
Right.
you're on original Medicare.
Right.
You'll pay a premium, and that premium will cover the difference that Medicare doesn't cover.
Just a 20% more or less.
Which would be a 20%. Sometimes there's a deductible attached to it, but that's a product that down here you don't see so often. You do see it, and I have a couple clients that are like that typically are people who live in the Northeast, and they travel, they're back and forth. They tend to be a little bit more affluent, and because it is a pricier, there's a premium on top of your Part B premium with the Medicare.
Correct.
So it tends to be a little pricier, so it's, that's consideration, right?
Well, but again, all questions that if people can call Alex at Care Compass.
I'm throwing a lot out there, I
Not
know.
for nothing, I thought this was going to be a boring conversation. It's actually been very, very
Well,
entertaining.
I mean, listen. I mean, this is what I always tell you with these
It's
conversations.
true, it's true,
because
it's true.
At the end of the day, a lot of people don't look at all the things that we've covered really, and not really into depth.
Correct.
In the sense of, like, for young people, the Obamacare, the clinic side, the Medicare Advantage side, or if you were the HMO side. These are things that we could be here till tomorrow elaborating on the situation. But that's why it's so important to have a person like Alex that you can sit down and can explain this to you. Because if you get it by anybody else, you can go on any other website and go ahead and get information that
It's not the same, man. This is a complex issue.
Unfortunately, and well, fortunately for me, I guess, and this is one of the reasons that you kind of be like, well, what do you want to talk about when you come on? Like, what can we talk about? Like, how can we make this interesting? Those were all questions that you had for me, and I said, unfortunately, everybody who's in this space doesn't really do very interesting conversation. And I think it's because they're not talking about it like this.
Oh, they didn't come on a day of Miami.
They didn't come on there, and they don't have good hosts like you guys. But they're usually talking. They're very monotone. They're saying, "Hey, your Part B is this, your Part D is that."
there's no monotone in this program.
So
no monotone in this program.
It's attacking it in a relatable way that you're not drowning people in technicalities and information.
And you know why? These are the things that get me hyped with this situation, because now what I want to do with this is I want to get people to comment. I want people to write us to a damn AM. I want people to give us their best experiences of their insurance. I don't care if it's good or bad. I want them to say, listen, I have these people, for me, it didn't work out. I have these people. I want people to give us their feedback. I want people to tell me what has been your best experience maybe for your 65 and plus parent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where has it been good? I mean, because I think that feedback for us is important, because everybody else doesn't get that feedback from other people unless you could see it maybe on our page.
Sure.
And I think it's important. And I think it's important what you said, to maybe create that series that you can bring in top people that you feel that these are great companies that people should really look into. Not really say, hey, choose A or choose B,
no.
But I'm going to give you A, B, C, D, and E. And then they can present their case. I mean, if we can a day in Miami as a page and a podcast helping that, I'm willing to do it.
But you know what? Everything just for me right now. I love your name, bro. Care Compass. Like, after hearing this conversation and the way you handle yourself and the way you guide people and stuff like that, I could see why you came up with that name.
It was a very purpose name.
It's perfect.
Nice.
It's you got to find north.
Not to be cheesy, but
no, bro, you have a compass. Lead you to the right direction.
And now the more deeper I understand this,
Yeah.
thank God I've never had any health scares, but I've had a lot of people around me that have, man. And it's not a situation you want to be that you owe tens of thousands of dollars to a hospital. To wrap up our conversation, because we have actually ACA Kendall Hospital coming in next. Last question.
oh god,
Here we go.
I'm gonna get in trouble for
This
this.
is presented by Toast, your number one POS system in South Florida. Call our girl Gabby if you need help with assistance with installing Toast in your restaurant or business.
Let's go, Gabby.
Give us your top 3 restaurants, starting from number 3.
I should have known this was coming. Number 3, I probably have to go with a place that I probably give 2 number 3s that I frequent.
Okay, all right. We'll let you do 2 number 3s.
I'll probably go Flanagan's Westchester, just because
Okay, I love
that's home base.
That's fine. That's fine.
And
Huechete.
and honorable mention, just because I love everything on the menu. It's not the sexiest place in the world, but I love Doc B's right around the corner.
Doc B's?
Okay, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Doc B's.
Me too.
I know you are.
I'm a big Doc B's guy.
I'm a fan of it.
You don't have to go.
Look, don't get me wrong.
Me go. I mean,
What do you like about it, bro? What convinced me? Because I've been many times.
It's a simple menu. It's a simple menu. Everything I've ever had on there is great. I have this.
Listen, my favorite is the Cobb salad with the chicken, brother. That fork and knife Cobb salad is delicious. And you know what? I don't go enough to it. And believe it or not, the time I go with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but we went with Kiko the other day. It was good.
No.
The fork and knife Cobb salad. I go every time and I go, I'm gonna have something different. And I've had different things on the menu, but every time I want
those croutons of cornbread.
Justin loves going too.
Those cornbread. But anyway, go ahead.
I don't know.
All
Number 2.
right, go number 2.
Number 2, and 1 and 2 are probably side by side, but number 2.
Give us number 2, bro.
Number 2, Amelia's in West Kendall.
Wow.
Yeah, Andrade family. If you haven't been,
Eileen.
I've never been there.
Never,
Yeah.
I've
man, it's
never
good.
been- no,
Never been there.
yeah.
Okay, but listen.
They just started. They just started a brunch. It's kicking ass.
I was gonna ask you because
good.
I'm lying. I did go when it first opened. It was super tiny inside.
No, you haven't been. You haven't been recently. They opened it and originally it was like a diner kind of a thing.
Oh, give me what's the type of menu there? Just a little bit of everything?
It's a little bit of everything. Obviously, it's Eileen Andrade, the owner of Finca. So
Okay.
And Isla Canaria.
So it's
I
a
know
more.
everybody's I'm going to get so much shit for this, but I haven't even been to Finca.
It's a more fine dining
way.
version of
yeah.
of that restaurant.
I know.
But yeah, one of the best filet mignons that you'll have.
So wait, it's a more fine dining restaurant style than
Sorry.
than Finca.
Gotta go.
It's a more simpler menu. It's the fish is great.
Is it pricier?
It's
Listen,
I'll tell you what.
Because the area
Miami.
is not like
We just
It's
got voted.
it's a bargain compared to some of these places you're seeing in Brickell or whatever. It might. That's
All
my
right, number 1,
check
I'll
it
tell
out.
you
I'll
after
check it out.
Miami. Remember, Miami just got voted out the most expensive
all these
restaurant
restaurants
place.
are helping in that boat,
And I think my favorite. They opened like a year ago, and Sonny's, man.
Sonny's down. I haven't been yet.
Sonny's is kicking ass, man.
Yeah.
They're great.
What do you liked about it?
Believe it or not, they're the cheapest steak on the menu is great. They have a hanger steak there. Not a lot of people
great-
offer. Not a lot of people offer a hanger
great-
steak.
yeah.
It's a phenomenal steak, and I said it's the cheapest thing. They're probably gonna jack up the price after this, but yeah, it's great. They have man, it's everything's good. The pasta there is phenomenal. You know what's the nice time to go there is we went when we first heard about it. I think it was back in November. I remember it was like the first chilly day in Miami. And Chile was like 70 degrees.
Yeah, no.
but-
People take out the first.
But they have this courtyard. Most of the seating is outdoor. They have this massive tree in the middle. They have these different rooms that all kind of look different. It's
cool.
It's a great energy. If you try to go during when it's a little
it
chilly.
makes you feel. I haven't been either.
You're somewhere else,
makes you
man.
feel like somewhere else.
We're waiting for them to
No,
invite
listen,
us.
it's not that. We go to so many places. We would have to go out every Monday through Sunday to at least 4 places a day just to go to the.
It's impossible.
It's hard.
It's impossible. It's impossible. But that's why we love this. We love to shed light on on the places.
And like anything, go to a restaurant don't go on the weekend. Go on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I agree.
Get
100%.
the best
time to go to a
attention,
restaurant?
get everything.
Weekdays.
Yeah,
Weekdays.
yeah.
Weekdays.
So you want to take me to Sonny's or?
No, Alex.
I'll take you.
Thank you, my brother.
Alex,
I appreciate
I'll
it.
take you, man.
I see Big Bird just walking in right now. So
I do want to say one last thing. I'm sorry.
ahead, my brother.
Just to be clear, I am not affiliated with any clinics.
no.
We are.
Listen, we.
But there is a lot of agencies that have affiliations with
Yeah.
clinics. We're not affiliated with any clinic. So
Right.
just want to be clear.
Well, that's why we want to do that program that we want to do.
We're going to get it done. We talked to Moya. We're going to get it done in the next
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you coming. All right, don't break the set. Thank you, brother.